Today, we're going to look at how to change the general form of a quadratic functions to vertex form. So the general form refers to ax squared plus bx plus c, whereas the vertex form is a bracket x minus h squared plus k. Now you can change the general form to vertex form using the method completing the square. And to change the vertex form back to general form, then you can use the expansions. So in vertex form, here when the value of a is greater than 0, so this is the shape of the graph. So here you're going to have a point called the minimum point. And when the a is less than 0, so this is the shape of the graph. So here the point is called the maximum point. So in vertex form, you can find the coordinates of the minimum points or the maximum points. So the h and the k here is the x coordinates and the y coordinates for the minimum or the maximum points. So the coordinate will be h, k. Now I want to draw your attention to the parts of the bracket in the vertex form here. So if the coordinate x is positive, for example, positive 2. So when you substitute it into the bracket here, you're going to get x minus 2. And when the x is negative, for example, h is equal to negative 2. So when you substitute it into the bracket, you're going to get x minus negative 2. So the bracket will be x plus 2. So when the bracket that you have is x minus 2, then the coordinate x will be positive 2. And when the bracket is x plus 2, for example, then the coordinate x will be negative 2. But for the coordinate y, it will just follow the value of k exactly. And the value of k here is also known as the minimum value if the a is less than 0, or maximum value when the a is less than 0. And as the axis of symmetry is going to pass through the minimum points or the maximum points, therefore the equations for the axis of symmetry is x equal to h. Now let's move to example number 1. The quadratic functions given is x squared plus 6x minus 3. So we want to change this to vertex form. So first, make sure the a is equal to positive 1. So in this example, the a is equal to positive 1. Then we can move to the next steps. So next, I'm just going to copy the part ax squared plus bx. So in this example, it will be x squared plus 6x. Now, next, I'm going to add in a number as the new value of c, so that this part here will become the area of the square. Now, to do that, we're going to take the b, in this case, which is the positive 6, we're going to divide it by 2. So it will be 6 divided by 2, then we're going to square it. So by doing so, this part here now is the area of a square. So 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3, so I'm just going to write number 3 here. By adding 3 square here, now I already changed the quadratic functions given. To keep the quadratic function as it is, so here I'm going to minus exactly with the numbers that I add in, which is 3 square. So when 3 square minus 3 square is equal to 0, which means I didn't change the quadratic functions given. Now don't forget we still have a minus 3 at the back there, so we just copy that part. Next, we're going to do the factorizations for the area of the square. So here you're going to have a bracket with the square here. So x squared here is going to be the x. Now noted the number that you add in is a positive 3. So when you do the factorization, it will be a plus 3 here. And for this part, you just solve it using your calculator. Here you're going to have the answer of minus 12. Now, this is the vertex form of the example number 1. Now, from the informations in the vertex form here, the A, which is equal to 1, is greater than 0. So this is the shape of the graph that you're going to get. So here is the minimum point with the coordinates of -3, -12. Now, the axis of symmetry is going to pass through the minimum point here, and the equations of the axis of symmetry will be x equal to -3. Example number 2, the quadratic function is 2x squared minus 5x plus 4. So first, make sure the a is equal to +1. So in this example, the a is +2. Therefore, first we're going to do the factorizations. So we're going to take the number 2 and put it outside here. Here is going to be the x squared. And for the -5x and plus 4 here, both of it, we're going to divide it with the number 2. So next here, you're going to have -5 over 2x. And when +4 divided by 2, you're going to have a +2 here. Next, we're going to do the completing the square method. So here we're just going to copy the ax squared and the bx part. Next, we're going to add in a number as the new value of c. So this part will become the area of the square. So we're going to take the b here, which is the -5 over 2. We are going to divide it by 2, which you're going to get -5 over 4. Then we're going to square it. So now this part here is the area of a square. To keep the quadratic function as it is, so here I'm going to minus it with exactly the number that I add in. And don't forget the +2 at the back here. Next, for the area of the square here, we can do the factorization part. So here you're going to have the x. Now, the numbers that you add in here is a -5 over 4. Therefore, here is going to become -5 over 4. And for this part, you just solve it using your calculator. And you're going to get the answer of +7 over 16. Next, we're going to do the expansion part. So here you're going to have 2 times bracket x minus 5 over 4 square. And when 2 multiply with 7 over 16, you're going to get 7 over 8. So this is the vertex form for example number 2. Now, here the a is equal to 2, which is greater than 0. So you're going to have the shape of the graph like this. So here is going to be the minimum points. So the coordinate of the minimum points will be 5 over 4 and 7 over 8. And the axis of symmetry, the equations will be x equal to 5 over 4. Example number 3. The quadratic function is -3x squared plus 18x minus 5. So first we need to make sure the a is equal to +1. So here the a is -3. Therefore first we're going to do the factorization. So we're going to take the -3 and put it outside here. Next, for the +18x and the -5 here, both of it we're going to divide it with the -3. So +18x divided by -3, you're going to get -6x. And here you're going to have +5 over 3. Next, to complete the square, we're just going to copy the part ax squared plus bx. Then we're going to add in a number here, so that this part will become the area of the square. So here the b is a negative 6. So we're going to take the negative 6 and divide it by 2. Then we're going to square it. And remember, then this part here now become the area of a square. Now negative 6 divided by 2 is the same as negative 3. So here I'm just going to copy using the number negative 3. Now to keep the equation as it is, so I'm going to minus with the number that I add in. So here is going to be minus negative 3 squared. And don't forget we still have plus 5 over 3 at the back there. Now we're going to do the factorizations for the area of the square. So here you're going to have a bracket. Now the numbers that you add in is a negative 3. So when you do the factorization, here is going to be x minus 3. And for this part, you just solve it using your calculator. And it will give you the answer of negative 22 over 3. Next, we're going to do the expansion part. So here you're going to have negative 3 bracket x minus 3 square. And for this one, when negative 3 multiply negative 22 over 3, you're going to get positive 22. So this is the vertex form for example number 3. So here the a, which is equal to negative 3, is less than 0. So this is the shape of the graph that you're going to get. So here you're going to have the maximum point with the coordinates of 3 and 22. And the axis of symmetry, which will pass through the maximum point here, the equations will be x equal to 3.